Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in, and in this video we're going to talk about something that is really important, and a lot of these channels that are kind of gravitated towards college life and student life are skipping on it or slipping on it for many reasons. And to me, I think that's one of the important factors that every student should really pay attention to and should be very much aware of their surroundings, the job market, and everything, and take the good and necessary actions in order to be successful. Otherwise, we all study, we all go to schools for all these idealistic perceptions that we have coming out of these universities, that I want to make this amount of money to pay off my student loan, to have this kind of house, to have or rent this kind of apartment, to have this lifestyle. And so by not having or not finding that ideal job that we have in head, which of course for none of us was just going to be like from the step 1 to step 10 that we can jump in, but at least something mediocre, we will struggle not finding them, and that can be a discouraging factor. That can be something that kind of shatter all those amazing ideas that we have in head. However, they are solvable, and all we have to do is to consider certain factors, these little tweaks that we can learn from all these educational videos that not only me but a lot of great advisors put out, and in order to enhance our applications and get those jobs. Alright, so one of the reasons that I'm putting this video in, because again, as an immigrant and somebody who is first in their family that is receiving their education and kind of aiming for higher education in a job market like this, that we are pretty much in a recession for a couple months now, but the government is ignoring it, is not trying to inform us. But on top of that, we see that the surge on the job market that used to be is kind of slowing down, especially with those jobs that are at a higher level versus the lower ones. And in addition to that, we have all this, uncertainty about migrations and the work visas and everything, which have kind of stressed the whole job market out. Now, I've learned this the hard way because, again, not only not coming from this privileged background of having somebody to teach me all of this, but really not knowing these little tweaks, it really hurt my application. And hopefully when we talk about it, you don't have to go through this at all, and you have this experiences delivered to your hand, so you don't have to deal with these disappointments. All right, so one of those factors, or one of the myths that I always had in head, was that because I went to UC Berkeley and have a high GPA and have triple majored basically into 3 different things that comes from 3 different departments or like very different subjects, I will have a higher chance of getting accepted for jobs. Yes, it has been true that in certain occasions I have given priorities. However, it has never been the case that if I did not have these little tweaks that I'm going to talk about in my application, I would have had the chance anything higher than a candidate who actually knew those tweaks, who knew these twists and apply them to their resume, to their application, and when it came to their interviews. So it's really important, and so we can say that coming out of a great school, a named school with a high GPA and certain majors doesn't necessarily mean that you're gonna get the job. In my opinion, it doesn't mean nothing. All right. Or the cases that really works for that specific application is 1 to 5%. That is really going to help you, at least in my case, or in my major and my job opportunities, fields, or whatever you want to call it. All right, so let's tackle it with that and then get into the things that I've learned, which hopefully will help you guys as well. And one of those things is that a lot of these firms or these jobs that we see, they are coming from they're operated by the HR departments, the human resources, which they don't really want to invest into hiring, or they don't want to put a lot of time, put a lot of energy into it, because a lot of them are busy. So what you will see is that majority of them are running algorithm which if you don't have those things that they are looking for and they feed it to the algorithm to look for on your resume, you are automatically declined or rejected from that application or that job position. All right, so that's very important. That's why a lot of these recruiters, especially on Instagram, on the short section of YouTube or on Instagram, you will see that they have these ads or they have these little shorts that talk about how you can use the AI in order to include all those things that they are asking, that these jobs are basically asking in your resume or in your cover letter in order to enhance your chances to get accepted. So that's very important. I've learned it the harsh way. I would just apply and immediately receive these emails that, sorry, Mr. Muratpur, you're not a qualified candidate for this job. All right, so that is a very important factor, and hopefully you can just reach out to them or reach out to YouTube or Instagram and just look up all these different videos and educate yourself about how you can utilize AI in order to take advantage of this opportunity and not put yourself at a disadvantage. All right, the second thing is like these jobs, when they open, again, it really goes back to the HR department and how much they are investing into hiring the right candidates. But majority of the times they are just looking for the very first applicants that apply for these jobs, like pretty much the 1 to 40 or 1 to 20, and they disregard all those applicants that applied afterwards. I've learned this from multiple job openings, that all those people who applied, who were my friends and applied within the first hours or within the first number of applicants, and they had a higher chance and they basically got a job, even though their resume basically wasn't as good as mine, but they got it. So timing really matters. Sorry, this room is really warm despite having the air conditioner on, so I'm constantly sweating. All right, so the timing really matters. On top of that, the work experience really matters, especially like when it comes to that specific application that the job is looking for. Like I can give you an example with regards to my job openings. And one of the facts that all of these jobs are looking for is e-filing, especially when it comes to the court. That is a crucial factor because they just want to have like these people that just submit or follow up with all the court casings or what they're trying to submit on. So the lawyer has done his job or their job, and then you just want to have these people that submit them and follow up on them. So that's something that they really care about. So again, it goes back to the work experience and having that particular skill listed, which goes back to the two previous point that I said, using or utilizing AI in order to have all those factors that they are mentioning in their job application. And then one thing that really goes to the psychological factor of it is that you come out or you're about to graduate, you start looking for all these jobs, but in that period that you're looking, you keep getting rejected from all those jobs that you're applying for. And mentally and psychologically, it really hurts you. Especially it did it to me to the point that I was looking at all of my friends and I was like, what the hell I was thinking? I was thinking that I go to UC Berkeley and I have a much higher chance than other candidates in order to get those jobs. So where is it? Like, where's all the hard work that I put behind going to UC Berkeley or a top university? What about my 4.0 GPA? What about my 3.8 GPA? What about this? What about that? So, psychologically, it can really be effective. And what I've learned is that I don't apply to jobs when I need them, but I apply to jobs constantly as a little kind of game that I'm looking at. It's just like, oh, let's apply to this, or let's set aside like 30 minutes or an hour every weekend or every day, 30 minutes, 20 minutes every day, or 1 hour every weekend, and kind of go after all the job opportunities and look over all the openings and just apply for them. That has been a tremendous help with regards to the psychological factor of the whole job market and looking for jobs, and I highly recommend it to you guys as well. Another thing that is very much related to this is that, and again, it has been a very harsh and crucial lesson for me, is that you always want to be employed and have that income coming in, even though it is pretty much less than what you're expecting to make. But you want that income to come in, and then, or while you're applying, you start applying. I'm sorry, while you're working, you apply for these jobs. Because when you have that income coming in, you have a peace of mind. You're not on a budget. You don't have, everybody says that you need to have that hunger in order to get that job or get that position. However, it's really important that you are supported as well, and it doesn't start to get into you and psychologically hurts you. So what I've learned is that you need to start with a job, and I'm not saying like go for something that is paying you very low, especially like something in my field. I've seen a lot of people going for that $25 or $26 an hour in order to just have a job, so they can basically afford everything. And I understand that. But like when the base salary for something like me is like $35 an hour or $30 an hour, I would not personally go with that. But if I have a job offer for 30 bucks, I will go for it, and then I have the salary so I can put food on my table, I can take care of my bills, so I have that peace of mind. But then I also apply for jobs, and now I just increase the aggressiveness a little bit and put more and more time into it as it is more significant to me. Second factor is that you need that income pretty much for everything here in this Western society. You need it in order to rent a house, you need it in order to purchase a house, you need it in order to rent a car, in order to loan a car, or anything that comes with regards to loan. And by loan, I mean like finance a car, right? So having that income can be really helpful, especially when you hit that point that you need to buy something or you need to purchase something and you have to borrow money, because now you have an income, so the whole process will be easier. So don't sleep on that, and kind of always have that job and look in order to kind of advance your position and get a better pay. As a matter of fact, there was this YouTube channel that kind of looked over the whole thing and was showing that those people who jump around and go from one job to another will often have a higher pay. So if this is something that you're aiming at, then definitely look for jobs at all time. However, based on the talks that I had with recruiters recently, I've also found out that showcasing this jump around, especially when it's on the shorter period of side, like less than a year from one company to another, it can become very hurtful to your application. Well, it's very late at night, so I sometimes stutter on certain words. But yeah, so do all of those things. And again, I just didn't know a lot of them. I quit my job. I had a very good job. It was remote. It was at one of the prestigious law firms. I quit it, and obviously it was for family reasons and for another reason that I cannot discuss in this video because I'm aiming at it. And once I got there, hopefully I will talk about it more on this channel. But I got out of it, and a lot of it was the family pressure. And then I was like, oh yeah, I went to UC Berkeley. Now I have a lot more job experience, especially because in UC Berkeley I was very active and advocating and being part of the president's office and all of those. I was like, there's no doubt that I easily can find a job when I want to go back. And not knowing that gap period, which is also another lesson, having a longer gap periods in your resume will make you unattractive to a lot of those people who want to hire you. So now having that gap period, now not working for a little bit of time, especially like quitting from one of these top law firms, all of those can be a negative factor in my resume. And not knowing that I need to have all those specific words in my application has put me at a huge disadvantage and caused me to not be hired immediately. So I had to basically go back and forth with a lot of recruiters, which recruiters can be a huge help to you as well, because the majority of the times you're not the one even paying for it. It's your employer who are trying to hire the right candidates, but they can give you all this advice and can be substantially helpful into educating you. All right, so hopefully this will be a good encyclopedia of informations with regards to applying, with regards to the right perceptions that you need to have, and that you can go and share with other people or share with your family and take advantage of. Thank you very much for listening, and until the next video, peace.